My parents tried forcing me into an arranged marriage, so I ran for my life. I come from a highly traditional family where arranged marriages are a strict generational expectation. For centuries, the parents in my family have chosen the husbands for their daughters. When my parents immigrated to America, I honestly believed we would modernize. I grew up going to public schools, went to college, and eventually got my own apartment and a corporate job. I thought I was completely free to choose my own path. I was entirely wrong. Last Sunday, my mother called me over to their house for a mandatory family meeting. I walked into the living room and saw my parents sitting with an older couple I did not recognize. As soon as I sat down, my mother dropped an absolute bombshell. She calmly informed me that my wedding was exactly 5 days away. I thought it was a terrible joke. My mother did not smile. She told me the groom was the son of a very wealthy overseas business associate, and I would meet him for the very first time on the day of the wedding. When I immediately protested and said I was not marrying a total stranger, my father raised his voice. He told me I had absolutely no choice in the matter. He said this was our culture, and I was required to fulfill my duty to the family. I knew arguing with them was completely pointless. They were entirely trapped in their traditional mindset, and they had months of preparation hidden from me. I pretended to feel overwhelmed and asked to go to the bathroom. Instead, I walked straight out the back door, hopped the backyard fence, and took an Uber directly back to my own apartment. I packed a large duffel bag intending to stay at a hotel until the 5 days passed. I was just zipping up my bag when someone started pounding violently on my front door. I looked through the peephole and saw my parents standing in the hallway. Standing right next to them were 2 uniformed police officers. My parents had called law enforcement claiming I was having a severe mental breakdown and they needed an escort to safely transport me back to their house. They thought the presence of the police would terrify me into total submission. That was their absolute biggest mistake. I opened the door and the officers asked me to step into the hallway. My mother smugly reached out to grab my arm and tell me it was time to go home. I stepped back and looked directly at the police officers. I spoke in a completely calm and clear voice. I told the officers I was 25 years old and my parents were actively trying to kidnap me to force me into a non-consensual arranged marriage. The entire atmosphere in the hallway instantly shifted. Forced marriage is a serious crime. The officers immediately separated me from my parents. When they questioned my father, he arrogantly admitted to the wedding plans because he genuinely believed his cultural traditions superseded local laws. The police did not agree. They ordered my parents to leave the premises immediately and threatened them with severe harassment and coercion charges if they ever contacted me again. An officer even waited outside my building while I loaded my car to leave safely. My parents tried to use the law to trap me, but they ended up legally and permanently severing our relationship. I moved to a completely different city the next week, and their wealthy overseas alliance was entirely ruined. Subscribe for more daily videos.